For thousands of years, humans lived within sight of land. Then some sailors dared to cross the horizon, entering a world nobody could fully see. Beyond the coastline, familiar landmarks disappeared, leaving sailors surrounded by uncertainty, distance, and an enormous ocean that offered few reliable clues. Yet distance created opportunity. Ships could carry spices, textiles, metals, food, and ideas between communities separated by thousands of kilometers. Before long-distance trade, most exchange was personal. You knew the merchant, understood their reputation, and could judge the goods directly. Maritime traders changed this equation, carrying valuable cargo across dangerous seas and connecting distant civilizations through increasingly sophisticated commercial networks. Soon, individual voyages became networks, linking Mediterranean ports and transforming separate coastal communities into parts of a larger economic system. These networks expanded across the Indian Ocean, connecting East Africa, Arabia, South Asia, and other distant societies through seasonal maritime routes. Yet every voyage carried a fundamental problem. Once land disappeared behind the ship, nobody could know exactly what waited beyond the horizon.
Sailors learned to read the stars, transforming the night sky into a navigational map that could guide them across vast open waters. Distant stars became practical information, allowing navigators to solve immediate problems while sailing thousands of kilometers away from familiar coastlines. Polynesian navigators developed another remarkable system, reading stars, waves, winds, currents, and seabirds to cross enormous stretches of the Pacific Ocean. Human navigation was becoming something deeper, the ability to construct an invisible mental model using information that could not be directly observed nearby. But the ocean was never predictable. Storms, currents, disease, piracy, and shipwreck could transform an apparently profitable voyage into catastrophe. Merchants therefore had to think beyond the present, planning investments around uncertain journeys, delayed returns, changing prices, and distant markets. Risk eventually became something that could be negotiated, financed, and transferred through maritime contracts designed around the uncertain success of voyages. A storm could destroy an entire investment, turning uncertainty into a problem not merely of navigation, but also of economics and survival. The crucial question changed from certainty to probability. Which outcome was most likely, what could go wrong, and how much could that failure cost?
Distance also created a trust problem, encouraging financial instruments such as letters of credit that allowed value and promises to travel without people. A small document could represent wealth across thousands of kilometers, separating financial information from physical cargo and making long-distance commerce increasingly scalable. The ocean became more than empty space between civilizations. It became an invisible network connecting distant ports, markets, people, and economic opportunities. Different cultures, languages, and goods converged in international harbors, creating marketplaces where strangers could exchange products from remarkably distant parts of the world.
Merchants discovered something powerful. The same product could have completely different values in different places, creating opportunities through differences in supply and demand. But international commerce needed rules, because strangers required predictable ways to resolve disputes, protect cargo, enforce agreements, and maintain confidence across borders. Contracts became bridges between strangers, allowing people to cooperate commercially without knowing each other personally or sharing the same local community. The deeper transformation was cognitive. Humans were learning to think in networks, recognizing relationships between distant events rather than viewing each event in isolation. Centuries later, the technology changed dramatically, but the underlying network remained familiar. Ships still connect distant producers, markets, consumers, and financial systems.
Today's enormous ports operate on the same fundamental principle, moving goods through interconnected systems that span continents, oceans, warehouses, roads, and railways. Now satellites, computers, and algorithms track these connections in real time, coordinating vessels, cargo, markets, and decisions across the entire planet. The ancient navigator and modern logistics analyst use different tools, but both confront a similar challenge.
understanding systems larger than any individual can see. Modern logistics increasingly uses artificial intelligence to interpret enormous networks, predict disruptions, and help humans make decisions about events far beyond immediate experience.
What began with ships crossing oceans has become a planetary network connecting billions of people, markets, technologies, and decisions across unprecedented distances. Our horizon has expanded from the coastline to the entire planet. Yet uncertainty remains. The future is still something humanity must constantly anticipate. From reading stars to reading global networks, humanity keeps extending the boundaries of its collective mind, transforming distance from a barrier into connection.